Hey, welcome back. Riggs here with another survival episode. It has been a minute. And for people watching in the future, when we say it's been a minute, it means it's been a very long time. It's just something we are saying these days. I don't know. But 117 has dropped, and I'm excited to do some exploring. Boom. Here is my little 117 corner here. These are all the blocks that I've been able to get my hands on without going anywhere. But in order to find all the new stuff, we're going to have to find some unloaded chunks. And I want to do that. But let's look at the map that I've of my little world here. I've done some building off camera, like they say. I have a lot of stuff to show you. 2020 was not kind to my recording schedule, but I've been able to play a bit. But yeah, island's looking pretty good. Here is my world map, and this is where we are right now. Here, this is the little island. And as you can see, I've done some exploring, but I haven't really done any building anywhere else. So off to my east here is this mushroom island, and there's a, I think spruce sort of connected to it. And I wanted to do some exploring over there, but I was hoping to find the new stuff. So I found a powerful tool that I want to show you, and like all powerful tools, with great power comes great responsibility. So this is a thing that you're going to be able to cut out chunks from your world, basically deleting chunks and letting them reload in. And so whenever you're doing anything with your world, serious like this, do what I am doing right now. And that is back it up. Please back it up, because you've done a lot of work in your world. I like the way you work it. And so please back it up. Yeah, I've done a lot of work over here too. So I have a lot to show you, but let me show you this powerful tool, and I'll just give you just a little brief tutorial, just enough to get you started. So let me show you that. Three super quick things you'll need to know before we actually get into the program itself. The first is to be able to back up your world. You want to go and select it like you're going to play it, but instead of clicking play, you then click edit, and then backing up is one of those options. And then the other thing you're going to need to know is how to install the program, which is MCA Selector. And I'm not going to try to give you a tutorial on how to install programs. I'm going to leave that up to you. You're probably better at this stuff than I am, quite honestly. But then the third thing you're going to need to know is how to find your saves folder, which is easy enough. You just click Options, Resource Packs, and then click on that. That'll show you your resource pack folder, and then just click one up from there, and you'll see your saves folder. But you're going to need to know where to find your world save in order to be able to edit it. Okay, I think we're ready to get into the program itself. So yeah, load up MCA Selector and choose the world you want to edit, and I'll see you there. Okay, so here we are in the program of MCA Selector, and once you've opened your world from the file menu there, you'll have these options of choosing your dimension. So this is the overworld, and then the nether is the dim -1, and then the end is dim 1. So I'm selecting the overworld because that's all I care about for now, although I might do some editing of my nether too because it's super old. But then, yeah, here's my spawn, and then you can use the arrow keys to move around your world, and then you can use the mouse wheel to zoom in. And this tool gives you a lot of detail, really block by block. Pretty cool. And then you can take screenshots too. So for mapping your world, definitely a great tool. But here is the island that I wanted to do, basically delete. And so zooming out, you can see kind of this is the edge of the exploring I've done, but I've done no building over here. So essentially you just sort of click and drag to select chunks, and then you come up here to selection and you delete the chunks. And now you're not going to find a big hole there, understand? It's just deleting anything that has been changed there. Essentially, it's giving the world a new chance to regenerate. And so you can zoom in actually with a lot of detail here. And I was noticing there's some of these pirate ships, and this is where some of the new blocks are going to be found. So I thought I could just delete a few of these, and it will allow the treasure to regenerate there. I know it's a little cheaty, but the other option is exploring more further away from your spawn, which in my case is not a huge deal. But since I've done no real building over here, doesn't hurt anybody. It's my own little world too. So this is something that you can use to cut and paste chunks too. It's a really powerful tool. This is kind of like having a knife in the kitchen, and the better you get with it, you get more efficient and you can do crazier things with it. But for now, I'm just kind of using it to do some chopping. But there's this whole like filter chunks thing, which I'm not really hardly going to get into, but you are able to filter by inhabited time, so you could kind of see areas of the world that people have just been in for a few moments. But a lot of detail here, not worth getting into. Again, kind of like a chef's knife. I could tell you how to hold the handle, but really you just got to use it for a while to get good at it. But it can do some serious chopping too. So like a knife in the kitchen, please do be careful. But yeah, I've done some chopping and I want to go do some exploring now. So I hope you found this useful. Again, I could go into a lot more detail, but I think the real tool is just having access to it and then doing some playing around yourself. And you can figure it out, I'm sure. Anyway, good luck with it, and hope you don't do any damage. One last thing worth mentioning is this little selection tool in the upper right-hand corner is your Y level. So you can use the scroll wheel to kind of scroll down and see each level as you go down, which is kind of a neat effect. And then you can look underground too. So if you wanted to just delete things that were underground, for instance, for this update might not be a bad idea. You could do that, which is kind of neat. So you could just leave things above ground the way they are, but just regenerate underground. So now that I've trimmed some chunks, we won't have to head out nearly as far to find the new blocks like the deep slate and the geodes. Although, look, I did manage to get my hands on a piece of copper from an unlucky drowned, and then also got some dripstone. I can show you how we did that. Before I head out and get all the new stuff, I feel like I want to catch you up on a few projects that I've been busy doing over the last year, and under different circumstances. Each of these might have been its own separate episode, but like I said, 2020 happened, enough said. But this is, one of the many things I've worked on here is this little fishing hut here, which has a lot of fun detail, but it's basically my fishing farm. While it was still useful, but I have some villagers underneath that help me with trades, and was one of the many builds. And there's a few other things I want to show you around the island that I promise at one point you'll say, oh, that's kind of cool. So let me give you a quick little island tour. I guess the first thing I should explain is this big glass monstrosity in the middle of the island, which is my tree farm. And I know there are TNT versions which will blow up the trees for you, but I actually like chopping trees, thank you very much. And there's nothing more satisfying than chopping bamboo. What is not so satisfying is having to collect all the little bits and bobs when you're done. So this collects all the items for you, and yeah, that's been working out great. So right next to the tree farm has been this Cactus Farm, which has been a good source of bone meal since the very beginning. But I did want to show you this little upgrade at the very bottom, which takes advantage of the fact that hoppers want to go down before they go over. So this will fill up this hopper and this chest first. So if I want to grab a stack of cactus for some green dye, which I do, it will refill that, and then it will continue to feed this hopper and compost all the cactus for bone meal. And here is the Zombieless iron farm that I did last time. Yeah, don't even worry about the zombies. This thing is plenty productive. So I've been trading iron and sticks with these villagers to get all of the emeralds I'd ever need. And then these guys are willing to trade me just about everything I'd ever want for these emeralds, which has been great. But they are held in place just by this tiny little layer of carpet. That's all you need, because these guys are 2 blocks tall, and that carpet is keeping them from living a free life. Sorry, guys, but that's just how it is. Oh yeah, while we're over here, I wanted to introduce you to my new best friend, my source of dripstone. Yeah, the Mason can unlock dripstone as a trade. I think it's the 3rd unlock, and it took me a few tries. But yeah, you can get a good supply of it before you go anywhere. So here's a spot where I'm going to build a paper farm once I run out of paper, but the 0-tick paper farms were so crazy overpowered that I haven't really run out yet. But at least now I've showed this to you, and I can rip out the old 0-tick farm now that I've showed that to you too. I also made a fairly standard wool farm, which I tucked away under here. But yeah, because wool is a super powerful villager trade as well, because they'll even trade you the shears that you need back to refill your dispensers. But I also did want to point out a little design feature with carpets and fences. Yeah, when you go over a fence with a carpet on top, it raises you up a half block. And then using that, you can kind of make carpet stairs. Yeah, over here I have carpets on top of walls in the 2nd row, and so that raises you up a half block, and then another half block, and another half block, and yeah, so you have carpet stairs. Kind of neat. So where did all those villagers come from? I'm glad you asked. They came from this villager breeder here, which used to be a carrot farm, and then somehow they learned about wheat. I don't know. I didn't tell them about wheat, but they learned about it, and so now it was a wheat farm. But I removed them because things got a little bit out of control. So yeah, this has become a little bit of a situation. Hey, there's my wheat farmer. But they have been feeding into a little rail cart system that I have with a job selection room. And yeah, that's been working out pretty well, but I got to do something about this. So here's another little unusual stair design I came up with using chains and trap doors. Yeah, it's kind of neat. The chains are the half block, and then the trap doors underneath are the full block. But yeah, down here is maybe my favorite part of the whole island. So without a doubt, the most fun I've ever had playing Minecraft has been this past year when my daughters came and joined me on this island. I put the world up on a realm and they have built a little mini base here. So yeah, we've spent hours going and finding horses and llamas and dogs and cats. And they have built aquariums and, secret doors through paintings and kitchens, and definitely had to show it to you because they got some skills. This is all them. So this cheerful spot is my combination potato farm and honey farm and wax farm, I guess, specifically for the candles. But yeah, the bees come out and they pollinate the potatoes and make them grow extra fast. And then the villagers here are farmers, so they pick the potatoes, but because their inventories are full, they drop them on the ground, and then the rail carts underneath pick them up. So that's been super productive, and I've gotten lots and lots of honey and honeycomb to make the candles. But I'm going to need some string for the candles, and I have a way of getting that too. So for string, you might be thinking spiders, and that would be a good shout, as they say. But no, I'm doing pig trading, piglin trading. And what this is just a simple little circuit with a pressure plate on top, which senses the gold. And then there's a torch there, which gets turned on and off by the pressure plate, basically spitting out a new piece of gold once that one is removed. And then the piglin is perfectly placed with a carpet on top of the hopper so that you can grab the gold through the glass, actually. And yeah, that has been getting me enough string, not huge amounts, but enough for my candle purposes. But you do need a good source of gold, and I have that as well. Yeah, with enough gold, the piglin trading really gets you access to a whole bunch of stuff. So instead of making one of the gold farms that you have to go stand around the nether, because who wants to go stand around in the nether? Not me, that's who. I made a one of these big obsidian nether portal gold farms right underneath my base, and they get lured by a turtle egg, and they fall in the water stream and get shot up to the top, and then they land down here on the soul sand, and I can chop at their little bits, and they get their bits get sucked up by the hopper underneath the soul sand, because the soul sand is less than a block, and then I can just step right up and get the experience. And the wall is a little bit taller than a block, and then I have the trapdoor on top, which keeps even the little babies in there. And so then all their bits get sucked down into this little sorting system where I get the ingots, and I get the nuggets, and I get the zombie flesh. Ooh, I gotta empty that and get a villager down here to trade me the zombie flesh. And then I have the swords just go into this furnace here, which gets me just a little bit of extra gold nuggets. And I guess the cooked chicken is probably from a chicken jockey that ended up in the wrong place at the wrong time. But yeah, gold has been handy, and I also need to use it for some villager healing, come to think of it. So yeah, have to do some zombie villager healing sooner rather than later. Because, oh yeah, sorry guys, I know. I'll be honest with you, this was not part of the plan. But at least we have a lot of gold to make some apples for these guys. So did you see anything that was like kind of cool? I don't know. I hope so. Anyway, I feel much better getting you guys all caught up. And now we can head forward into 117 land. We've earned ourselves some adventures in these new unexplored chunks. But yeah, other things. You may notice I'm not wearing an elytra, and I don't have any shulker boxes, so we still need to do that. But I'm going to head off to the east and hopefully leave you with a couple of clips. Yes, I did have some adventures, and I have some highlights for you. So the first thing to do was to recruit a couple of brave adventurers. Luckily, I happen to know two of them by the name of Smart Sis and Sassy Silver. They happen to live with me, and we bumped into an axolotl, and yeah, throw it into a bucket, because that's what you do. And I remembered that they can help you fight things. So in a second, I tried to have it help me fight this drown, but I ended up just punching it with the bucket. That's not how you do it. Luckily, Sassy Silver was there with her sword, much more effective, and was lucky enough to come up with a piece of copper. Yeah, nice. And then we found a pirate ship that I know that I had looted before, and so I'm pretty sure it got reset because my other adventuring friend, Smart Sis, came up with some treasure, the treasure we were looking for, and she was generous enough to share it with us right in the middle of the ocean. Except I dropped it, and so I had to swim around for a second and get it. But yeah, the moss block, we got that. And so what do you do when you get something that you are happy about? You do a little shuffle dance. So that's what we did. We did a shuffle dance and let the sun set, and it was a good time. So anyway, that was the beginning of our adventures, and we have continued a little bit, but for now I'm going to leave it here. And I appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. So until next time, this has been Riggs, and I love you. I'll see you soon.